Caroline, welcome. And if you don't mind, just a quick introduction.
Hi, Coach. Thanks for having me today. So nice to catch up with you too. And so my name's Caroline Kelleher. I'm from Holden, Mass. I went to Worcester Academy for high school and bounced around with a bunch of clubs throughout my career, but finished out at Bayside Club out of Rhode Island. At Con, love Bayside. At Con, I was a biological sciences major. Yeah, I loved Con. It was amazing experience, especially being a student athlete and someone in a strong sciences program. I knew I wanted to do a Con actually the first time I met with you. I don't even know if at that time you had seen me play. I had kind of hounded you to come to my high school games because I knew I wanted to be at a school that, you know, balanced both academics, athletics, but also gave me that opportunity to be like a college student and experience that social life that, you know, everyone imagines going into college. And yeah, I remember like meeting with you that first day and going into the athletic center and like looking over the turf field. And it was just, I'll never forget that and be like, okay, I want to go here. So yeah, that's a little bit about me and why I chose Con. Never regretted it. And, you know, always wish I could go back, but it was a great 4 years.
Oh, that's a great story. You actually brings back a memory. I think we had lunch with your mom, Amy. I want to say Julia was in tow, and maybe Neil or Paul. I'm not sure,
Definitely Neil.
but it was the family came down, and I actually, you know, I obviously, you know, my daughters were in similar age to Neil
Right.
and to Julia, so you know, I felt like that was a great connection right off the bat. And
Yes,
we
definitely.
just had a nice time on
We
campus.
did.
Uh, and like, well, great to hear. That's, you know, why I think the visit's key. So it's why you chose Con, and
Absolutely.
getting that
Yes.
feeling about the balance of academics and athletics. And I think that we strike that balance quite well. Um,
Absolutely.
and so, you know, well, how have you been doing? Like, how have you been since graduation?
Good. I've been great, honestly. Very busy. So after graduation, I had about 2 weeks, I think, until I started my job at Tufts Medical Center. I was a CCT, which is a clinical care technician, similar to like a CNA or a medical assistant. I had in mind that I wanted to, you know, go down the healthcare track. I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted, but you know, similar to when I was deciding for college, you know, I wanted a balance. I always knew that I didn't want, you know, my whole life to be work. I wanted to have, you know, a social aspect of life, but also be working in something that I really loved. And that's always been taking care of people. You know, I mean, everyone on the team kind of jokes that I'm their caretaker, still get questions every day about, you know, random health things. And I'm not even certified yet, but I do my best, hold my own over here. But yeah, so I found the job actually through a friend at Con who was working at Tufts. And at Tufts Medical Center, what they do is they have you work alongside nurses. And so you're taking vital signs, you're doing EKGs, you're helping patients with their daily living activities. So going to the bathroom, bathing, getting dressed. So for me, that was an amazing experience because I hadn't been able to really like, you know, get my feet wet and
Mm.
dealing with patients one-on-one, you know, getting confidence in my bedside manner and how you can, you know, as a student athlete, you also know there's going to be times where you're dealing with people you might necessarily not always get along with or you see differently from. And patients, family members sometimes are those people, you know, in the path that I'm going down now. So learning how to have common respect for them and, you know, yeah, I think that was a huge skill for me and something I'd already kind of had in my back pocket from
Hmm.
being at Con, being an athlete. But you know, really sharpening my skills at Tufts was, you know, huge. I think, especially going into my clinical year now. So after I worked at Tufts, I was decided that I actually want to go down the PA route. PA is a physician assistant, so you're a mid-level practitioner, similar to an NP, but as a PA, you work um, under a supervising physician in a healthcare team. So I'm working with residents, attendings, fellows, you know, the whole nine.
Mm.
So to me, that was great because I was, again, in a part of another team. And that's something I've always seeked. I think it's something that, you know, makes me me. I like to work with other people. I like to bounce ideas off each other. And I learn from other people. So PA was just what I wanted. And so I applied for my first round, I think end of 2018, beginning of 2019, I started applying. And I actually got into Tufts PA program. So that's where I am now. I just finished my first year. It's your didactic year. So the whole program is 2 years. So you go from January to December of all classroom. And then I just am in the January now, where I just started my first week of clinicals in the hospital. So yeah, it's been a great experience so far, but definitely challenging with, COVID and being in the healthcare and,
you're
learning about this new virus. Yeah. So,
Caroline, you just talked about it so naturally, just how, being on a team and being a student athlete prepares you, for the workplace and for being on, kind of being able to deal with people and deal with patients and their families and all those different aspects that probably you don't think about when you're going
until you're in it,
until you're in it.
Right.
Was there anyone at Con, could be a teammate, professor, coach, anybody that kind of helped push you, and I don't know, kind of left a memory or left a kind of an impact on you that, that basically has now helped you kind of as you go through this career path?
Absolutely. Well, I have a lot of people to thank for helping me get through 4 years because, I had a lot of ups and downs with being injured. So I tore my first ACL my freshman year. And I think, as a freshman coming in, you're so focused on, making a good impression, working hard, fighting for that starting spot, fighting for time. So for me, that was kind of a blow to the end of my freshman year. You question yourself, am I going to come back and be the same soccer player I once was? Can I still compete at this level? So I think all those thoughts were going through my mind. And at that time, having my nuclear 9 with me, really to pull me out of the trenches there and get me back on my feet, I think was, I'm forever grateful for them. And, my second ACL, my junior year, my sister was actually a part of the team at that time. And she had seen, she was in high school when I got hurt, but she had seen me, go through all my rehab and, push myself and know that I had to work 10 times harder to get back to where I was. So having her a part of the team when I got hurt, I think, I leaned on her a lot to kind of get me through, when I was frustrated and not understanding, why me again. You go through that whole experience.
Sure. Yeah.
So yeah, I have to so many people that got me through 4 years. And I think especially my sister, being in her example, I always wanted to set, an example for her. You're going to go through these hardships and you're going to experience things and you're not going to really understand, why it's happening to you and, what you did to deserve it. And it's going to feel like that for a while because that's normal. But, pulling yourself out of that and just being like, all right, well, that's what happened. And these are the cards I were dealt. And how can I, make this a positive experience and what can I take from this? And I think, I really focused on being a positive, influence on not only my sister, but my younger teammates, especially when I was a junior, because I had a lot of kids looking up to me at that time to be a good example for them. And so I think that's sort of the route I decided for myself to take instead of doing the, the poor me, because we can all do that. So I think, all those.
I'm sitting here and I'm hearing this, and obviously, one talk about mental toughness and why we need teammates and how you have to spin it and how you have to have that kind of conversation in your head to say, no, like we're going to get through this. But, I'd be remiss to not say, Caroline, at both the timing of your injuries, both first year and your junior year, you were scoring boatloads of goals. You were having a really a massive impact on us, stretching the field with your pace. And kind of like when, I remember obviously it was a sophomore or your first year was in the semifinal against Bowdoin in the NESCAC championships. But in your junior year, you and Balti, that partnership that you and Balti had up top, it was phenomenal. I want to say at that point we were undefeated. And you know, the goal production, we figured it out, I guess, down the road, but it certainly dried up pretty quickly for a little stretch. And it was a big loss for our team, obviously a really setback for you, but I'm always give you a ton of credit for how you fought through it. And I remember going to some of your rehab workouts and, you know, just saying, wow,
Yeah.
okay, better you than me. But understanding why also, you know, when I look at the things you went through now, I'm seeing the incredible person you are and the career you've chosen. I mean, it just kind of seems fitting. Although at that time, you know, I mean, obviously it's also a kick in the shins, you know, and it really sets you back. So, I mean, how about, I mean, maybe you kind of just touched on it, but if we could, I'll ask it, what is the greatest lessons that, you know, you learned from being a student athlete at Connecticut College?
I think, you know, being both a science major, which is challenging, and, you know, you come from high school and you don't know what you're about to get in college. And I think for me, it was like, I worked hard in high school and I always wanted to get good grades, and coming to con, you really get challenged. So I had that aspect, you know, I knew I wanted to be in the science program, knew I wanted to be a student athlete, was at a competitive school with a competitive soccer team. And I really learned pretty quick that everything that's worthwhile does not come easy. Doesn't mean it has to be hard, but you have to put your head down and work for it. And I think that's a decision that I made for myself. I was like, you know, I had challenges with certain classes that I thought, oh, am I going to get through this? Am I going to be a bio major? And I had challenges in soccer, whereas I didn't know, you know, if I was going to be an impactful player anymore. But I continued to work at it and I continued to want it. And I think that was the biggest thing. My junior year, I had the opportunity to go abroad, and I think was just about to buy my flights to Copenhagen when I tore my ACL. And so for me, that was a decision. I could go abroad. I could, you know, experience, you know, more of the world, and I could expand my experience in college. But, you know, I couldn't let soccer go. And this team was a huge part of, you know, why I am who I am. And so I made that decision for myself to keep fighting. And I'm so glad I did, because, you know, it's pushed me to get into PA school and, you know, be competitive academically, but also get out there in the work field, especially during COVID. And it's another obstacle, you know, everyone's facing today. So it's just like these little choices I feel like that I've made to keep pushing and to not give up has really gotten me where I am today. So that's my biggest piece of advice. Keep fighting, even if you don't see an end in sight, or you don't think you can do it. You definitely can if you want it bad enough.
Well, you know, it's you're bringing a little bit of a tear to my eye when I hear this, because I mean, it is, you know, it is about that fight. And so often, you know, I'm a parent and I have, my daughters are in college, and, you know, and we want to do everything we can as parents to kind of, I don't know, kind of protect, help. And Definitely. Parents are only as happy as their saddest kid.
Definitely.
But what I'm hearing from you is that those rocky roads, those setbacks, that sadness is what's made you who you are today. You've had to fight through that. And granted, there's the teammates that pull you along, and there's all those positives, but I think we overlook the challenges and how important they are.
Absolutely.
And I just, when I hear you say this, that's just what kind of, you know, rings out to me. You know, our scars, our challenges, our setbacks are also part of our growth, and it is who we are. And, you know, and you fought through all that to, you know, sounds to me like you're just really just, you know, doing some incredible stuff, and really proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I think honestly, as a team though, too, we won NESCACs our freshman year, and then we kind of hit rock bottom my sophomore year. So to find that, you know, to really be at the top and feel all of that, you know, so young, and then the next year losing some great players, but still having a strong core, and wondering what happened and what went wrong. And I think those things will happen. And I think as a team too, we came together my junior year, and I was lucky to have a great group of people to work with. And, you know, me and Balti still have that connection. Don't worry. She just started PA school too. So we're still going strong. But yeah, so I think, you know, I've had individual challenges I've gone through, but also, you know, as a team. And I think especially for, athletes at Con, knowing that you could be at the top one year, you could be at the bottom the next, but if you love it enough, you're going to keep, pushing to get back on top.
Yeah, that's great. Well, hey, let's kind of segue into what was your favorite, Camel athletic moment?
Definitely have a few. I think for me was definitely my hat trick at Hamilton. Can't really take back that. Never imagined myself to be one to score a hat trick in college, but I don't know what I had for breakfast that day, but I was
let's keep having it.
Something stuck. And so I think, but also, after coming back from being injured and, doing okay my sophomore year, but, not making the impact that I wanted, then coming back junior year and really kind of finding, the player that I was again, and then scoring that, like seeing how it affected my teammates too was great, because they were so happy for me and they knew how far I had come and how hard I had worked for it. And that also winning this award, when I won, it was like a group award. You know what I mean? Like, I know that, some of my teammates were crying when I won, because they had known how much that I had gone through, but they had also, been through it with me. They had, helped me shower when I couldn't stand on my own. They had driven me to class, done all that hard stuff. So I think definitely that hat trick was a sweet moment. I'll never forget that. But I think the bigger one was, at the end, winning this award. I'd kind of put a bow on my athletic career, and it was a great way to end it. So I thank you for nominating me.
Well, I will say that, yes, I did nominate you for the Erica Bos Award winner. You are maybe the picture perfect recipient, although we know the challenges that comes with that. And that's overcoming hardship, but leading through adversity too. It's not
right.
just that. But, I want to say the training staff also nominated you. It wasn't, and I think that says something too, because obviously I'm biased. I saw what you went through,
Right.
And I'm not saying that any other student athlete didn't have hardships, but the training staff, having known you for 4 years and been there with you through all that's a great compliment as well. And speaks also to the Camel Nation, and that we all, we always talk about this, like, it's not just this women's soccer team, but it's the, it's the athletic department, it's the other coaches, it's the training staff,
right.
It's the sports information, it's all these things, we're all in one together. And I think that I was really, when I saw that they had nominated you too, I was just, I kind of read their input, and it was just really touching and sincere, and again, made me really proud.
Yeah. I honestly didn't know that. So, I mean, and I owe an arm and a leg to them, because I wasn't always like in a chipper mood when you're getting your leg, bent back, and it's terrible feeling. And they pushed me through it, and they kept me positive. And I think they saw me go, through great times where I'm coming back, I'm getting better. And then when, you're at the beginning and you're doing prehab, like before your surgery, and you're kind of like, what is going on? I owe a lot to them, and, keeping me kind of sane, I think, because when you're going through an injury, you as a coach, you have 40 girls to keep an eye on, and they, when you're dealing with the trainer, they have just you. So I would have not been even remotely close to where I was without them. So definitely a huge thank you.
Well, and I also, you said earlier in this, the bedside manner, kind of having to work with other families, and that maybe ornery, patient. And I think obviously, you're not thinking that at the time, probably. Oh, this is going to help me in my career. You're like, why am I, but you now, I think that's the reflective processing part, as you go through your education and as you get out into this, you reflect on those moments. And I think that probably is made why you're probably going to be an incredible PA is, nobody can tell you don't know what it's like.
That's true. I mean, I worked with a lot of patients when I was working at Tufts. I was on a general surgery floor, and a lot of my patients were having knee replacements. And I was like, you know what? I've been there, and that's probably going to be me not too long from now. Fingers crossed, but someday they're coming. So, being able to connect with my patients on that level, and kind of being, you know, I know I'm not your shoes right now, but I've been there and I get it, and you're going to be fine. Just, you know, keep working hard. I would always kind of tell them, like, work hard at rehab and you'll get back on your feet. So yeah, I think that it was honestly rewarding to be able to bring a personal touch to it, instead of just being like, you'll be fine, whatever, good luck. I don't know. I think it meant more to a lot of people who had, you know, they'd been there for 4 or 5 days. And I mean, especially now with COVID, patients' family members can't be present. So as a healthcare worker, you're kind of their family while you're there. So yeah, I think I've taken so much from this experience, and sometimes I forget how much I've taken from it until I say it out loud. And, you know, I'm talking to you and I'm explaining kind of the little steps that I've taken and the things that have happened. So it is nice to reflect too on it. Some days you kind of get caught up in everything you're doing, and, you know, COVID being here and being, you know, in grad school, you forget to see the bright side of things at times. So it's reminding me of all the great things that Con gave me, and I'm forever grateful for that.
Well, you know, again, well, I think back to that moment sitting in that booth in Harris. You know, just kind of, you know, just kind of knowing that, yeah, I kind of, again, I have those gut feelings too. And felt really good about, you know, the Kelleher family and the, you know, and that journey we could have together. Before I ask kind of the final question, was there any, you know, any other team moment or special moment that jumps out, or anything that you wanted to just say before I kind of give our last question?
I cannot not mention NESCAC champs. That was awesome. Even being hurt, I think was just an absolutely amazing experience, and having a trib score, one of my good friends, was even better. And yeah, so I think as a team we came together. Being injured at the time was definitely difficult, but again, knowing that we had reached the end goal, you couldn't really go much farther. Yeah, NCAAs, but that was a huge accomplishment for not only our team but the entire school. And then coming back on the bus and having a bunch of my friends, you know, that played field hockey, there for us in hockey, it was just like awesome. And then kind of having our little, like, you gave your you're now famous when one Camel wins, we all win speech. And that's stuck with us and somehow stuck with other people. And like, they'll say it to me now and I'm like, how do you even know about that? But yeah, it was funny. So that was something I'll never forget. And I feel like so lucky to have been a part of it, and still wish I could go back some days and relive the glory days, but it will always be a really great memory.
It is a great memory. So I have to just say this, you know, you had some, you can have a colorful language in some sentencing, you know, so we're carrying you off the field, and, and you're like, we better win this game. And then I said after, I'm like, you know, we're in a hotel, and so you're uncomfortable, and we asked you, you know, do you want to go home? And you're like, no way, I'm not going home. And
no way.
Yeah, and you know, and I was like, yeah, I guess that was a dumb question. But again, back to that passion and that drive that you have, you know, it just always, it makes you smile when I think about it.
And I can't forget to mention Kelly Coleman. She's not with the trainers anymore, but I think I texted her 100 times that night because my leg felt like it was on fire, and she was up every hour with me. And I know she was there for us in the past. So I actually, you know, still see Kelly on Facebook and stuff like that. But, you know, another testament to the training program at Con and what a great support they are, especially being a freshman. I didn't know what to expect. So yeah, just had to put a little plug there.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you know, great. Again, just kind of, we always talked about the training room being part of the coaching staff, and Kelly certainly was. And you know, obviously, she's like, yeah, Norm, Caroline's not going anywhere. She's going to be right here on the sideline. Okay. We'll take care of her. So final question. And first, thanks so much again. We're here with Caroline Kelleher, class of 2018, Erica Bos Award winner, and 2014 NESCAC champion. What advice would you give the current student athletes at Connecticut College right now?
I think always make sure you're doing what you love. Because if you know, you can lose love for something, that's fine. It's normal. I've seen it to happen to other teammates, but you know, constantly making a decision to be doing what you love and put your all into it. If soccer or whatever other sport you're playing is what you love, then do it and put all of yourself into it, and don't hold back. But if you come to that realization that maybe it's not, make sure you're always finding something you love. Like when I chose con, it was because I loved, you know, you as a coach and the program, and, you know, shout out to Rob and Annalise and John, who, you know, were huge impact of my entire career. But I love the team that you guys were. I love the feel when I got, you know, I had done other college visits and I didn't feel the same feeling I, you know, had when I came to con, and I felt that love throughout. And I think staying true, like, to that and to yourself and making decisions that are, you know, sometimes can be hard, but what's best for you. And yeah, I think that's my biggest piece, is make sure you're always doing what makes you happy, because you know, you're going to leave college and, you know, maybe you'll go on to play a sport, or maybe you won't. But, you know, you want to leave with fond memories of it. And I think, you know, I was so lucky that I did. And yeah, I kind of stayed true to that and continue making choices. And I'm so glad I didn't go abroad, and I stayed and was a part of the team. Yeah, I think that's
great advice. It's great advice. And, you know, Caroline, you know, I mean, I think if anyone's going to hear this, they're going to see, you know, your sincerity rings true here, just about, you know, your experience, but your love for con and the Camel Nation. And you know, I knew we were onto something with that, with your class, and I knew we could do great things. And again, just, I always say, surround yourself with great people and great things happen. And we certainly have done that. And I can't thank you enough for coming on today.
Thanks, Coach.
And just really thanks for catching up. And sounds like you're doing great. Keep it going. And one Camel.
Y'all win. All right. Thank you, Coach.